This is the training video on parent communication. All parent communication should happen in a professional, pleasant tone. All parents should be greeted whenever they walk into a classroom. If you're the opener or the closer, it doesn't matter. They should be greeted in a professional, pleasant tone. When you answer the phone in your classroom, again, it should be in a professional, pleasant tone. You need to answer the phone with the classroom name, for example, Fishy Fours, and then your name. So if I were to answer the phone, I would say, Fishy Fours, this is Constance, in a professional, pleasant tone. All parent communication should happen through the center. This could be emails to the classroom account, forms that we'll talk about in a minute, phone calls from the center phone, or in person. No messaging, no communication should happen via text, social media, personal email, etc. Everything should happen through the center. When someone comes to pick up a child, it is your responsibility to ID them. Anytime someone comes in that you don't recognize, you need to ask for their ID. If you're a new employee, that means everyone that walks in the door is someone that you don't recognize. So every person needs to be ID'd. Tell them you're sorry that they have to go back out to the car to get their ID, but you need to see it. When you're IDing a parent, what you're looking for, or anyone that comes to pick up a child, what you need to check it against is an emergency card. You can find these in two places. The originals are in the office in this plastic box. In the classroom binder, on the front of this binder is where you're signing kids in and out. Inside the binder are the emergency cards. Emergency cards are filed alphabetically. What you're looking for. Their name is at the top with dad and mom. Towards the bottom, you're looking for the names. Here we have 1, 2, and 3. 3 names here, and then 4 names across here. If the person you are identifying is not any of these names, you cannot release the child to that person. What you should do at that point is call the office and let management handle it. You may not release the child for any amount of time at all to someone who is not on this form. If you happen to be in the office and you're checking this emergency card, it's the exact same form, but instead of looking towards the bottom, you're going to flip it over, and the names are here and here. Also, the allergy information is on the emergency card too. It's towards the middle here. Well, the bottom of this one, the middle of the one in the binder. This is where the allergy information is too. Now, as far as those forms we were talking about, there is a daily sheet. This daily sheet is used in the classrooms for the infant room, the 1-year-old room, the 2-year-old room, and the 2.5s. It needs to be filled out every day for every child. We need copies of these in the center. So the way they're on the clipboard is form, carbon, another form, and cardstock. When you're filling out this form, first you need to write the child's name and date. Then there's a section of information that needs to be filled out by the parent about when they arrived, anything that the parent needs you to know that day, when their last diaper change was, all that information. And the rest needs to be filled out by you, the primary caregiver. There's a space to talk about what they ate and when they ate it, when their diaper change was or when their potty training was, who their primary caregiver is for that day. Every child must have a primary caregiver every day in these classrooms, in the toddler rooms. And then you need to write a note about how their day was. Remember, you need to be specific, but not to put another child's name on the form. And then anything they might need for the next day. The second form is an accident incident report. We also need copies of these. So you'll need to make sure there's a carbon in between these when you're writing them out. And you want to start on the bottom as well, just so you can cut it off and give that form to a parent. These are filled out anytime there's an injury, even if no mark was left. If there was an intent for the child to hurt another child, then an incident report needs to be filled out for the child who did the injury and also the one who received the injury. If a child needs to go to the ER, urgent care, doctor's office, whatever, you need to notify the management immediately. If there was a bite or a head injury, again, management needs to be notified immediately. When filling out this form, you're going to write child's name, date, and time that the injury occurred. In this section here, you're going to write what happened. You need to be as specific as possible. However, you are not going to write another child's name on this form. You need to be vague when it comes to the other child. You need to write what you did. Now, if it was an accident, you need to write what form of first aid you used. If it was an incident, you need to write what disciplinary action you took. Where you need to say here if you contacted the parents. If you did, you need to tell when. Remember, we only contact parents through the center. You need to sign it. Director or assistant director needs to sign